everybody, Anorganic Pixel here, and today I just want to kind of give my quick thoughts on the Deadlock map that just came out. I made a video a while back talking about how new that was, and it just came out, and I've been playing it a lot this week. I've been playing quite a bit of games on it lately, and I think I have my kind of thoughts on the overall pacing of the map and my feelings towards it. I also want to kind of go over some things I think the map needs to fix, and we'll kind of get into that later. But first, I want to say that the pacing of the games now feels a lot more slower and a lot more focused. Largely, I think, because there's one less lane, there's a lot less ganking, so there is more of a focus on staying within what's going on within the lane you're currently in right now. Very early on in early game with the 4 lane, you had to kind of monitor your lane as well as the lane next to you and keep tabs on where other characters might be going. With this one, it's a lot harder, and there's a lot more of a commitment now if you want to gank early on and even later in the game itself. That has to do a lot with the fact that there is not another zip line for movement. So now you have a lot of having to walk through most of the map and everything, walk through most of New York City, and there's not as many options with zip lining to places. I feel like what we're going to move towards, though, is a future where teleporters are going to be used a lot more and a lot more widely than they used to have been. But I like how a lot of the fighting early on, especially, is a lot more intentional. You really don't want to start ganking until maybe the Guardian goes down or until your teammates are ready to kind of make a move on something. And I think that's a big theme with this map, is it's basically working towards committing to a task as a team. I think early on, you could have a guy go solo lane and take out a walker by themselves while the team had a fight on the bottom left portion of the map, and another person could probably push a walker by themselves and everything. I think those days are over. It's a lot more. You probably don't want to be taking on a lot of tower unless you have a teammate with you by your side to help get out of a sticky situation, or also to take out the tower a lot quicker. Number 2, I think playing stealthier and also avoiding combat is going to be a bigger part or a bigger option now you have at your disposal. There are a lot of routes and a lot of ways to wiggle way out of certain fights or even get to fights quicker. With 4 lane, it was really easy to see what was going on in the other lane, but now it's very much so where if you're in one lane, it's hard to get a general idea or see directly what's going on unless you're looking at the mini map. So with 3 lane, you have a lot of options for kind of snaking around or sneaking ways into other bases and whatnot. There's a lot of other buildings now that exist that allow you to go into. There's more of structures to explore and go inside of, whereas in 4 lane, it felt more outside-y. You felt like there was more of a outside kind of presence. This one feels a lot more claustrophobic or a lot more condensed in terms of where the combat is going to be taking place at. Number 3, I also think there's a lot of movement tech to be discovered with this. There's a lot more jump pads. There's a lot of different options for moving around the map, slides, and everything. So movement is going to be a bigger part of Deadlock than it was previously. I think on 4 lane, you just have the option to bounce around the whole map and jump from one side to the next with one big majestic leap. Now, there seems to be more of a push to either slide your way over, wall bounce, hit air pads and whatnot, and make your way over to the right side of the map and everything, or the right part of the map that you're trying to get to. All right. Let me get into some details about the map, though, that I think might need to be worked on, or have maybe someone at Valve double check on to see if they're working correctly. I think these are things that we might want to fix based on that happened with this new map as well as the new update itself. And I'll kind of start off with one that I kind of talked about earlier, and that's going to be this jump pad here. You can find this jump pad in the bottom right corner of green lane and the top left corner of yellow lane, but I just think this doorway needs to be widened a bit. Getting on this jump pad is kind of weird. You have to kind of walk out of this doorway and then take a left to the jump pad to use it. And even then, your character isn't really on the jump pad, so it just feels a little clunky at the moment. One thing too you'll notice is that there's a lot of items that don't seem to have clipping involved in them, so you're kind of phasing through certain objects on buildings and whatnot. Here's another one. This one is in the church at the top left portion of yellow lane. There seems to be a cool little sniper's nest right there, but it doesn't look like we're either using the right model, or there seems to be a portion of this model that isn't built properly. I also want to kind of complain about mid a bit. I don't like the fact that mid, the very tippy top of mid, is inaccessible or has lightning on top of it. I feel like just either put a structure on mid or even lower mid a bit if you don't want players to get that high up. I'm assuming this is to kind of nerf or Holt Lash alts or Holt Lash Grand Slams to be as effective as they might be right now. This, I think, is just more of a visual or aesthetic aspect. I really don't like how Secret Shop now is so hidden. It literally... I just think it would be nice to have one other visual representation on the actual map itself where Secret Shop might be. And getting to it is a little clunky, I think. The next thing I want to kind of touch on is these windows. I think they need to be widened a little bit or have a few of them removed. It's for Infernus, it's not that big of a deal. Infernus is kind of a smaller, narrower character. But for larger characters like Abrams or Mo Krill, these windows are a little hard to navigate through. And you kind of have to like angle your camera in a specific way to get through them. So I think those windows either need to be widened a bit or might need to be moved in a certain way that makes it a little bit easier, a lot more mobile to get through. This next one I think might just be another aesthetic thing. What is going on here? What are we supposed to get to the roof here? I don't understand why there exists this like weird little hut. I think this should just be a standard building with a stairway that goes up into this doorway here. I don't think it's necessary to have this staircase that goes upwards over that building. I think this room also needs to either have a little bit more to do or maybe have a little bit more of an aesthetic overhaul. It's very barren. I also think the jukeboxes really need to be reworked. I love the minigame now that comes up. If you really want to get this, by the way, just wait till the third light flashes and then you can get that Grand Slam jukebox. But getting 3 little buffs on top of all that, that's crazy. That's a lot, and that's almost equivalent to like a whole $500 item. I think that might need to be nerfed a little bit. I think if you get the Grand Slam on the jukebox itself, maybe you should get 1 additional power perk or whatever. But to get 3 is really heavy. Like as of right now, that is like a very overpowered aspect of this new update. The Grand Slam on the jukeboxes themselves. All right, what I'm showing here, by the way, is an air jump that functions really weird, and I think it's because of the sign or because of the position itself. As you can see, the airflow is directing you to go to the right, but if you navigate or angle your camera in a weird way on this one, you could go forward, and it kind of feels very clunky. It doesn't feel like it's meant to do that. You can go the right way, but you have to like angle the position of your camera or character to do that. I also think that this sign should be moved. Getting on this air pad is a little clunky or a little hard to do right now. And this only exists, by the way, on this specific building, this other specific air pad. I checked out the other air pad that exists on the opposite side of the map, and it does not have that problem. That one does, though. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the update. I'm really excited about where Deadlock's at right now. I think this update is actually going to make the game a lot more accessible for newer players when this game finally comes out. One ask I would have, though, is that we could at least have the 4-lane map come back in some form or fashion. Maybe different game modes or maybe like a different kind of laning option depending on what Valve is planning to do. I cannot imagine they're just going to throw away that entire map, but who knows? Again, one thing I said in my last video, it's kind of crazy how potentially early on in development we are with this game, and seeing that process from Valve is such an interesting feat. So I'm excited to see what's next, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know if I missed anything else in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to like and subscribe and check out my other videos. I do a lot of Deadlock content, Team Fortress 2. Really, this YouTube channel is just kind of a fun, goof around thing, and yeah, have a good day. Bye.
Oh shit.
Abrams, you don't lose these. You don't lose these, bro. He wins these!
Down there? Like a champ? We're trying to get down there, but honestly this map is
fucking doo-doo, bro. Get out? Oh, you guys got out. Bro, what's going on, bro? Where do I go? We require backup team.
holy shit, good shit, bro, good shit.
Holy fuck.
Bro,
No,
Abrams, that was some shit
gotta go
you
yellow.
were doing.
Bro, hold on, Abrams, how the fuck did you survive? I need you to teach me.